This is what we're playing. I became gay from translating my new roommate's short story. I think I dropped a picture of this, both in Discord and on Twitter, because as soon as I saw this picture, I fucking freaked. Girl on purpose. Girl on purpose, girl on purpose, girl on purpose, girl on purpose, girl on purpose. Girl on porpoise. And it's like, oh, trans? I was like, I hope it's canonically trans, but like, come on, girl on purpose? Which I feel like flies in the face of like all those fucking terms, right? Because like gender critical and all that shit are all like, oh, like we're we're like, oh, we're women and we didn't choose it, and it's just the role that we have, and giving birth is our social role, so that's the only thing that defines womanhood. And if you don't have that, then you're not a real woman. And just like the choice of your gender. Oh, by the way, I don't know if folks know this, but I am not a proponent of Born This Way. Not because I don't think that the feeling that way is valid, but I think that I guess politically it was necessary for the queer liberation movement, and still is. I hope that it isn't necessary forever, but even with science, with an amount of science behind it, because of like the fluidity of like personhood, I definitely believe that your gender can change over time, which is why like I flip-flop between saying like when I was a boy and before I found out I was trans, because the more I guess politically correct under gender and queer liberation would be the latter, not the former. But I don't think becoming trans, I don't think becoming a girl is, or like the concept itself is bad. Though, to be more specific, what I mean when I say that I'm not I shouldn't say I'm not a proponent of Born This Way. I don't know, I feel that Born This Way, I hope that Born This Way will eventually become obsolete, because Born This Way was necessary to convince, and it was a convincing, to try to convince or even plead with people in power, straight, like cishet people in power, that they shouldn't try to throw us in conversion camps, shouldn't kill us, that we need protections, because we don't have a choice. Even if you do have a choice, that doesn't mean that those things are okay. If you weighed the pros and if you were AMAB and weighed the pros and cons of being a girl versus being a boy, and you chose to be a girl, you're free to define your own experience, obviously. But I wouldn't say that, especially with that framework that I just displayed, that people, that you had to consider yourself as always a girl deep down. This is also relevant, and I'm using transness specifically because I feel like it speaks volumes about the experience in ways that that being gay is different in a nuanced way that I don't necessarily want to like unpack right now. But generally speaking, I kind of feel like I guess I'm not really a Born This Way queer person, because I value my autonomy to the point that I would like to say I chose my gender. I definitely chose Faye. I could have easily left myself as undefined non-binary, you know? And some people might even go as far as to say that yeah, being queer isn't a choice, but like choosing to be proud of it or choosing to be out is also a choice, because some people weigh the pros and cons of coming out and know that they're queer, but don't. Maybe because they have a family that they don't want to put through that, for example, which isn't fair to them, but like everyone has to make their own choices, right? And I say this as a person who wholly believes that they were raised by two queer sisters who were super self-hating. At least 3 women in our family of origin were very queer-esque. And obviously we'll never know, but like it's too much to unpack right now. It's too much to unpack right now as well. But like, you know, when there's like, oh, there's signs, and of course being like, oh yeah, deciding someone else's like sexuality or gender for them is not fair. But also like, people can be repressed. People can definitely be repressed. Shit, I would be, back in the day, we were asked specifically if we were queer, and we fucking lied. And before that, we fucking didn't think we were. And we fucking flip-flop back and forth. Sometimes depending on who was fronting. So depending on the time of day, someone asked us if we were queer, they were getting a different answer. You know, it's a lot. That title. I also question born this way ideology. It seems weird that a person should be predestined to specific ways. Actually, I remember almost crying to a teacher once about born this way, because literally she was queer and she wasn't disclosing how she was queer to her students, and made very specific and was very specific not to do that, but she dropped hints all the time and was very much an ally, until it was obvious when she brought a femme date to prom with her as a chaperone or whatever. And it's like, huh, seems pretty gay there, teach. And I remember we talked about Born This Way in class once, and I came to her, tears welling up in my eyes, and I remember this so clearly, actually. I was like, are you sure that Born This Way is the only thing? Because I had already recognized the queerness in me. This was like sophomore year of high school, I think. Either freshman or sophomore year of high school. And she's like, yeah, Born This Way is a thing. If you're queer, you are always queer. It's in your genes. And I'm just like, I like to have a choice. And I didn't say that part, because then that would have outed me. And I was just like, oh, if you're sure. Walks away. It made me feel very not in control. I mean, obviously I didn't choose to be autistic, for example, right? There are certain identity things that like I don't get to choose. But I guess with queer, in terms of it being, especially with us being brought up of growing alongside the argument that being queer is a lifestyle, was I mean, obviously it being a choice has been framed by a lot of people as like a selfish choice or indulgent or dangerously hedonistic one, and it's not. It's really not. It's super funny how I think there's a similarity between that and how a lot of mono people consider like polyamory. Like, oh, if you're polyamorous. Oh, this also applies to being bi or pan. If you're polyamorous or bi or pan, you're considered greedy. If you're queer, you're considered flamboyant and hedonistic. And like, even in a fully accepting environment, all those identities are hard. All of them. And it's okay that they're hard. Everything's hard. Life is hard. But like, to insist that a person is choosing it because they're like selfish, it's fucked up. It would make more sense that you become queer or not at puberty, I guess, but But as an ace person, that kind of skees me too. But I mean, but to be fair, a lot of queer people don't realize that they're queer until they have like this coming to gayness moment, you know? Like this game kind of puts out. And this is a demo. I'm really excited for the full game. The full game will apparently have sex scenes, so I will probably not be able to stream it on Twitch when the full game comes out. Hopefully though, cause it's cute. Oops. And that's like, if you look at the stream title, oops, all treats. Oops, girl on purpose. And I feel like claiming your gender and claiming your identity is important. Right. We can read the stuff for it afterwards. I believe I posted this in the Discord already, but I'll do it again just now. Sharing is caring. Share games is in there. Oh, I don't think so. There we go. All right. Gosh. I feel so self-actualized lately. Especially with streaming and stuff. Like, I used to be like, how can someone fucking just chatting stream for, like, a whole stream? Like Willow, of a trans education streamer. I totally, dig her whole, like, her whole stream, her vibe and everything. And it's just really cool that she can fucking stream for, like, 8 or 12 hours and just talk. I think it's really cool. I don't know if I ever want to do, like, an 8-hour talking stream. But whenever we make 1K followers, we have to do a 24-hour Wikipedia reading stream, so... Detroit become gay. Oh, hi Mountain. How's it going? Heck yeah. I'm happy you're enjoying yourself more with streaming, Drizzle. Me too. I felt invisible when we, I guess before my model existed, because I didn't have a name. I hadn't had a name for the longest, or at least not a byte name. I mean, I've been Cloud for a long time, but I didn't have a byte name, and it was like, yeah, I'm a fluff that streams, and people would ask and be like, something, I exist, thank you. And at that point, we weren't as self-actualized with all our sonas and stuff. It's taken time, like seeing the like all this art on the side. Like I can't wait to switch out Glitch's portrait for whenever they get a ref sheet. I hope we can get one before the year is out. Paws crossed. If you notice, this isn't installed right now. I don't know if people know this and or if they even use Itch.io's launcher, but depending on how the game was submitted, it won't install. So if I try to install it, it doesn't finish. So if you ever need to install a game that won't install through the launcher, then basically take the URL, put it in your browser, and then just download the zip file, and then you can just extract it and you're fine. But I do hate that because I have launchers for a reason to keep all the games in one place, to be able to easily browse them. Although Itch.io's launcher is disappointing me lately, or has been disappointing us for a while, because I don't know if you know, but if you go to the thingy, it's like it auto load scrolls, right? But once you go down far enough, say, I don't know, maybe 50 games, it won't load anymore. Maybe more than 50 games. We've had the trouble that eventually it won't load any more games. I feel like Itch.io is trying to make me salty right now. Cause I'm just scrolling and scrolling. They're like, hey, don't badmouth me. As you can see, everyone who's been, well, okay, there's only one person who's been asking. I should update this. Yeah, we have all the, I think we have at this point. All the per paw fan games, or the first 3 of this series. Oh my gosh, I feel so called out. And it's like, ha, we work now. I guess it's a good thing. Rare. Fucking salty. I look forward to seeing Sharon's rough sheet. Is there any plans to give Glitch an emote in the future? Do you think it would like to have a fun emote? Oh yeah, they're definitely getting an emote. Every fluff that ends up streaming with us will get an emote eventually. I'm good. Just found out I'm interested in surreal exploration games. Ooh, cool. I think you'll probably really like Hyper Gigia then. It seems like a really cool game. The Purr-Paw Extended Universe. Gosh, I love a Purr-Paw Cinematic Universe. Or Game-O-Matic Universe? Game-O-Matic Universe. Oh, this, the sequel to Yuki's palpitating, passionate, phenomenal, and quite frankly, proficient quest for a hot girlfriend is what I'm playing after. The sequel just came out. Oh, I was looking for translating my roommate's short story made me gay, and I realized it's not in the browser. I actually have it clipped to the taskbar. Gay. Yeah, I know, right? Alright. I should drink some water. Water intake. Don't know why the settings are like this. And I can't F4. Let's see. Full screen. Full screen window? Okay, that works. Graphics? Medium? I hope I can wait, why is there I'm very curious though. And this does have open dyslexic font, which I enjoy. I'm just gonna go with, oh wait, I'm gonna go with medium. And let's check our sound. One day I'd love to do just like a really long visual novel stream and finish up a bunch of visual novels that we've only partially finished. Sometimes I can still hear his voice. Gay, homosexual, gay. I remember back when I first met y'all and you weren't very prominent in the brand. Does Emma ever miss doing videos? I mean, we all miss videos. I mean, Emma has videos that she wants to release, just they aren't done. I mean, like her main essay is about the game that no one else can play. but the person, but the, what the fuck was it called? The diminish. She still has that say about diminish, and now because it's like, you know, into season 2, she's probably gonna have it include season 2. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. I'm not sure. Can't speak for her on that regard. But yeah, we all miss making videos. I don't know if you know this, but we've definitely been like a fucking sloth with video releases. I became gay from translating my new roommate's short story. Begin! I guess I am actually playing a Yuri game with a partner. So, Glitch, do you want this character or do you want the other one? I mean, do you want a character? I will take this one, sure. I have a feeling you want the other one because of the shirt. Yep. Hello there. Oh, it seems that pressing the spacebar hides the text. I totally thought it would advance it. Hello there. Welcome to I Became Gay from Translating My Roommate's Short Story, also known as Gay from Translating, GFT, Girlfriend Time, and so on. If our flag system is working correctly, then it seems that this is your first time playing. While it may be a work of fiction, Gay from Translating does tackle some very heavy themes, and can get rather dark at times. So before we begin, I would like to know if you wish to be warned about a scene featuring such themes is about to happen. You can choose the warning level that best suits your needs, depending on whether you simply require time to prepare before continuing, or you'd rather skip the scene entirely. And of course, you can also choose to forego warnings altogether. What level of content warnings would you like? So, this is interesting. I really like this approach. We usually avoid skipping scenes. We've never skipped a scene before. We even did full Russian in Call of Duty. Hello, Mountain. I'm doing quite well. Going to play a nice gay game with my fae friend. Summaries. The game will fade to black at the start of the scene and asks if you wish to proceed to skip it. If you skip the scene, a warningless summary of the events will appear before the game resumes. If you proceed, banners with specific warnings will still appear along with a button to skip the scene at any time. None. Opt out of content warnings entirely. Banners, generic. A banner will appear in the top left corner of the screen at the beginning of a segment, warning a generic content warning. You'll also be notified when the segment is over. Banners, specific. A banner will appear on the top left corner of the screen at the beginning of the segment, detailing the specific content warnings that apply. You'll also be notified when the segment is over. I think banner specific is best for us. What do you think, Driz? The mask SMB wants to go no warnings. But also, it's nice that we're streaming because we might have done that if we played this game alone. But I do like having our viewers be able to have warnings as well. So I definitely want to do banner specific. Okie dokie then. Banner specific it is. You selected banner specific. For this playthrough, of course. Good choice. Well then, let's begin. We Without Burgers, Chapter 23. Merlin, the sagely wizard of Sangakia, crawls pathetically towards me and cries, "Sir Irin of the Saturn, we're not amassing enough burgers to placate the masses." Unperturbed by his despair, I lean back on my throne. "And how did that happen?" I ask gracefully. "The demand is increasing too quickly for us to keep up with, and the villagers are already revolting due to burger shortage." I snicker. "That was the plan, you doofus Stagika." I had him spend money on stealth marketing tactics for a reason. I knew that the villagers, unused to my marketing genius, would be easily duped if we bought out their neighbors. After that, it was a matter of time before demand skyrocketed. I stand up, my tiger skin mantle fluttering behind me as I rise, and Merlin falls to his knees, still unaccustomed to the sight of the glorious businessman hero that I am. Although my knowledge of video games and fantasy novels is of no use to me, I've read enough salaryman novels to stand my ground. Fantasy heroes are unworthy of commendation. They fight dragons and save the world. They call it a day once everything's done, not giving a damn about what happens afterwards. Even with the forces of evil defeated, civilization will be doomed to fall to ruin anyway. They're not leaders. They're con artists. Forget these heroes. We can learn far more from the fictional businessmen seen in my stories of choice. I admire how they trick their enemies and grow their empires with nothing but their cunning. I think back to a line from one of my personal favorite novels. "Why would I pay for a single dime for your labor when I gave you the idea for this product in the first place, mongrel? Be glad that I'm even giving you this much exposure. After all, only ideas are worth anything in this world." Gosh, this protagonist is such an asshole. Dragon Quest 12 looks great. Oh my god, it's an isekai too. I must envision myself as one such entrepreneur. Yes, I'll inspire a technological and economical revolution in this uncivilized medieval world by introducing fast food into it. I'll make Adam Smith proud. So even if the situation grows dangerous, I must remain calm, of course. I wouldn't want to disappoint my 14 wives who are awaiting my return in my gilded quarters either. So believe in yourself, Sir Irin of Saturn, because this world is nothing more than a stock market for you to game. There are no other ethical economic systems aside from capitalism. Well, and slavery. Is it? Slavery happened in America, at least, under capitalism, so I don't know if that's true. Ah. Such an observant Fae. But I still need more power before I can unlock that option. Having thought of the next step of my plan, I strike up a Machiavellian smile. The returns will be massive if it succeeds. Glaring at Merlin, I say, "The time has come for us to introduce a new kind of burger." "A new kind of burger? My lord?" And I laugh in a way that only the most successful businessmen ever laugh. I would never use my own laugh for that. That's right, a burger made of drugs. Well, guess that part's over. This is going to be such a pleasure to see. Such a cute couple play together. A very fun and creepy Fae. And a very teasy cutie Fae. Such a fun pair to watch. Okay, that's enough proofreading. Okay, that's enough proofreading nonsense isekai for a day. Oh, sorry, this is you, Driz. Watanabe Fiona, master of mediocre translations. Yo, this music's a bop. Good choice of free to use music. Christ, where was the trigger warning for this? Oh, you mean all the capitalism? Oh, Polygeist would totally love the burger made of drugs. And so would I! Well, depends on the drugs. I would like a burger of drugs. Hold the heroin. Oh, quick save. Okay, that's enough proofreading nonsense isekai for a day. The state of Japanese popular media is never gonna die. The state of Japanese popular media has never been so dire. It's easy to be cynical about the whole thing when you're constantly seeing stories on social media about creators being exploited by those creative industries. And as more and more publishers learn how to optimize the transformation of artists into content creators, I can't help but reflect on my complicity as a translator and letting this creative bankruptcy flourish. Breathing in a mouthful of leftover soggy instant noodle air, I stretch in my chair and yawn. Who knew the greatest enemy of Japanese media would be its own commodification? My stomach rumbles. I pick up my chopsticks and start slurping the rest of the noodles away. They've grown cold and honestly, kinda gross. I must have gotten really into work again if I didn't notice that so much time had already passed. But I'm still nowhere near finished. And just thinking about the next chapter is making me tired. Those long pauses on economics are so going to kill me. Fiction has changed. As I turn away from the computer to rub my weary eyes, I notice the myriad empty styrofoam noodle cups strewn all over the desk. They're stacked on top of each other, the disposable wooden chopsticks protruding out of the gaps in the towers like they're gasping for fresh air. And when I slide my headphones down to my neck, the song I was listening to is immediately drowned out by the noise coming from my broken AC. Thinking about it, most people would probably find living like this impossible. But it's not so bad once you get used to it, really. I eat the last of the noodles in this cup, finishing drinking the broth and putting it next to the other noodle cup towers. Stale, cold breath. Just the way the instant noodle manufacturers, and God, intended. I moved my chair backwards to stand up and ended up knocking some empty cups that were laying on the floor over in the process. A few drops of leftover broth spill out of them. Ugh. Whatever. It's not like any more stains are gonna make a difference at this point. Well, let's try stretching. Never mind. My body is as stiff as lead. Maybe I could do it if I made an actual effort, but it's hard to get in the mood for it when it's already so late. Outside, the city's lights are dim, yet somehow still distracting. While in here, the flugent colors of my monitor screensaver seem to be asking, "Aren't you gonna keep working?" Not right now, I'm not. I step away from the computer, and I hop into my delightfully concrete-like bed. Pulling out my phone, I snicker at the idea of avoiding the LCD screen by looking at another. Before going to see if I missed anything interesting on social media today. Looks like my friends are still trying to get people to read the novels they're translating since their anime adaptations are airing at the moment. Bleh. I find it exhausting how translators nowadays are expected to do advertising and PR for the things they're working on. Imagine having to engage with internet communities, especially the loud and obnoxious ones, as part of your day job. I hope they're getting paid really well to do that, because if they're not, That just sounds like exploitation. That said, I can't judge anyone for accepting these kinds of jobs. This is just the reality of working as a translator today. Really, I should consider myself lucky for not having to do these kinds of things very much, unlike everyone else. The most I have to do is crack self-depreciating jokes while trying to survive on the few crumbs I can get. Yup, it's a good thing I only ever translate light novels that will never become popular. I wonder why I'm a translator. Maybe this is all just a dream. I'm reminded of a certain translation of Zusugi's Palatable of the Butterfly's Dream. I'm reminded of a certain translation of Zuhagi's Parable of the Butterfly's Dream that I read once. That story goes like this. Zahunagi dreamed of being a butterfly, just minding its butterfly business. But when he woke up, he wondered if he was actually a butterfly, dreaming of being a man. After all, there's no substantial difference between the two dreamers. How can one know who's dreaming of who? In the end, all he could say is that he's the butterfly, and the butterfly is him. But the academic behind this translation of the story claimed that most people hadn't actually understood the story, and it's about not only the interchangeability and transience of dreams and reality, but also the transformative nature of material entities. Much like how life becomes death and death becomes life, Zahuzagi became a butterfly, and the butterfly becomes Zahuhagi. We are always changing, metamorphizing into something else. That struck me as a truly beautiful way of interpreting and translating that story. The fleeting nature of life and dreams accords too well with the flawed art of translating. If translation is a creative act of interpretation, this had to be one of the finest examples of the form. Alas, I hadn't been that inspired about my work for quite some time now. Maybe I'm just dreaming of being a mediocre human translator, and if I close my eyes, I'll be a perfect butterfly again. Couldn't you have chosen a better life to dream about, Miss Butterfly? Whatever. It's not like I can do anything about any of this. No matter how bad the senseless job gets, I'll continue being addicted to it. After letting ennui overwhelm my brain, I put my phone down and attempt to nap away this depression. Glitch, how do I frown with the model? You just have to make a really weird smiley face. That was the trick all along, you... I feel like Persona. Like, how you get, like, special perks when you get to the end of a fucking, I can't think of words. When you get to the end of the quest line for knowing and or dating a character, and it's like, oh, that was the secret all along that you were keeping from me? Fuck. I'm trying to frown right now because I almost cried, because all the shit about being a translator actually maps on to my feelings about being a video essayist and just being an analyst in general a lot. Because sometimes I'm like, am I really an artist? Yes, the answer is yes. But sometimes I have imposter syndrome because it's like, aren't I riding on the coattails of the stuff I like? Aren't I just being like, ah, yes, I like Amori, so people who like Amori will look at my stuff and I'll be popular because Amori's popular. Although, before Amori became a social zeitgeist, I was already wanting to do a video essay on it, so But it feels like so overly derivative. Though a certain cutie lizard once told me that even the capitalist shit hellhole that we live in does actually recognize that like remixing, analyzing, and like reinterpreting works is valid art. Breathing in a snort full of soggy what air now? Soggy noodle air, not I would like to inhale other soggy air. Right. I don't think I can ever see the word soggy and not immediately associate it with diapers because of how much bab culture I've enveloped myself in. I think that's valid. Just like how when I saw the main character's shirt, I'm like, there's no way I cannot see this character as trans. Impossible. Culture is dominating. Welcome back from internet jail. I'm sorry you still are going to internet jail even though you got gifted a sub less than a month ago. Weird. Social link. Yes, Issy, I was thinking social link. Save. Okay, how many slots? 30? Visual novels be killing it with the save slots though. I will choose slot 9. Burp. Oh, wait, another's coming, sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry. They say good things come in threes. After letting Inoue overwhelm my brain, I put my phone down in an attempt to nap away this depression, but my stomach rumbles in retaliation. Being hungry really is perpetual human condition. I fling myself up, head to the kitchen, and start boiling some more water. Watching the vapor stream out of my kettle's beak, I find myself thinking about the light novel I'm currently working on again. There's a particular line in chapter 25 that perfectly encapsulates the difficulty of translating anything Japanese into English. You see, Japanese is quite a terse and minimalist language, especially compared to how verbose English can be. This difference between the two can sometimes make it feel like no translation from Japanese to English is ever going to truly be accurate. As a result, the difference in the nuance between the original script I'm working on and the word vomit that I put out feels massive. Everything that I write is bloated, filled with meaning that wasn't there in the original. My translations might as well be a completely separate story. I imagine other translators must feel the same way. The truth is, we're just making derivative works loosely based on what we're translating. Oh, and by the way, the line that got me thinking about all of this ultimately just means cash is the sets machine. Translation be like that. Before I continue, holy fucking shit, this is so relevant that I'm gonna have to plead with Thorn on if we can include that passage in the essay that we're literally working on right now. Because like different people having analyses on different games basically tear the whole thing open in different directions. I'm thinking of easy example is the Matrix, not Matrix in the game, but the Matrix in general, because the whole blue pill red pill thing was specifically supposed to be reference to trans stuff, because originally estrogen came in a red pill. Taking the plunge was represented by the red pill, but some people have interpreted it as as taking the red pill meaning waking up to being a white supremacist or being a shitty centrist or lots of other political right-leaning things. And there's even a whole documentary about the red pill, you know? And like everyone's interpretation is different. But like when you look at an analysis and you compare it to another analysis, your perception of the game is going to be completely different. Which is exactly why we have not looked at even one fucking video essay about Amori. I refuse to look at one until we finish that essay. Same thing with The Last of Us 2, unfortunately. Taking the pill? So in the Matrix, there's a secret world that you do not get access to unless you get the opportunity to break free of your chains. Basically, it is you exist in a digital prison. Sorry for ruining The Matrix, a movie from 1999, but yeah, and not even ruining the ending or anything. Just so basically, in The Matrix, if you get a chance to decide if you want to stay in the digital world and not break free of the digital chains, you take the blue pill. If you want to wake up and live in actual flesh space, you take the red pill. That's basically what that is. Seems like Faye say it too. Right. Indeed. Also, yes, we can do that. Drizzle, we may be different people, but we are a lot alike, and I wasn't awake till you said my name, but I can see why you applied that to this thinking. And this is your essay too. Even though it's my essay, it's our essay. Okay? I'm just showered by Faye friend affection. Gay, 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 gay. Also, thank you. Sorry, I got sidetracked by all the gay. Says lots of validating things. Only focuses on kiss. Anyway. Oh, wait, shit, hold on. I'm so high. Sorry, I didn't mean to make suggestive sounds. Well, I mean, I guess I don't... My sounds just happen to be suggestive. I'm not, like, trying to... And I guess that's a bit of a thing. Like, people think that our stretching is, like, sexual or whatever. It's just how we stretch. I wasn't trying to lean into it, at least not originally. I'm just okay with it, even though people get... people who are new to stream get a little blushy when they hear me stretch. Or us stretch, rather. But I was wearing a hoodie. I had to take the hoodie off because I'm hot, and I don't know why I'm hot. It's like supposed to be colder, though. I'm not technically complaining because once it gets cold, I'm gonna be like, whoa. Because when you're hot, you can hopefully take off articles of clothing to help. When you're cold, you can put on blankets and stuff, but like, depending on what you have access to, like if we plug in a heater right now, it'll blow the fuse, then you can't really warm yourself up anymore. Big stretchies can feel really good. Oh, I knew that y'all wouldn't see it as sexual Fana, especially with how I guess sets unaware you tend to be. But people have specifically dropped hints about our stretching being sexual. Like, I think I remember one time specifically there was just a bunch of blushy emotes in chat when stretchies happened. Which was a thing, which only became a thing once we became an affiliate because of the stretch redeem, because we didn't stretch consistently on stream before that. All those little muscles stretching out and rubbing all the soreness out. All the soreness and tightness. I just think y'all are pissing yourself whenever you stretch. We're not usually, sometimes. It used to be that though. Especially because people used to water and stretch us specifically. They just water, wait like 30 minutes or an hour, and then do a stretch redeem. Anyway, moving back to game. Game. Let's go. The water's finished boiling, so my breakfast dinner brenner is almost ready. I open my cabinet, revealing my instant noodle harem, and take out one of the cups. My phone buzzes. I look at the time before picking up the call. My editor actually had a life, so I doubt they'd be calling me at 4 a.m. So the only other option left is my mom's? Hello. The child has spoken. Feels like ages since we last talked. Y'all called me 3 days ago. And the last time we talked before that was 5 days ago. And before that was 8 days ago. You're pretty proud of your harassment, huh? We're proud of how much we love you. Asian parents. And besides, we know your habits, dear. Working at 4 a.m. Probably drinking energy drinks, too. I don't drink that stuff anymore. That's good. Our girls learn not to depend on caffeine. I do drink coffee, though. I take that back. Speaking of, how was work going? Exciting as always. Barely paying the bills. Give me a sec. I look back at the stove, suddenly remembering that I was cooking something. The water stopped bubbling. I must have turned off the stove without noticing it. Thank goodness I didn't burn my apartment down. I put down my phone and pour hot water into the freshly opened noodles. Then I carefully rip open the lovely, all-artificial flavor packet, dump the contents into the cup, and stir the whole thing with a brand new set of disposable chopsticks while I'm meditating on the mysteries of the universe. Back. Was cooking something. Let me guess. Instant noodles. Bingo! You got a $1,000 prize. That is a $10 question, and you should use that money to buy some vegetables. I hate them. Still the picky eater. We're actually eating right now as well, at a family restaurant. Meeting another writer? That's right. Might as well use these drink coupons while we're at it, you know? The two women who I call my mothers are always working on some big project or another, the scale of which their adopted daughter will never be able to approach by herself. Hatsune is a prestigious Japanese university teacher who specializes in 18th century American literature, while Kanako is an American political scientist studying East Asian security affairs. These nerds met in some university book club, fell in love with each other, and have never been separated since. For all intents and purposes, they're the most perfect, and therefore the most annoying couple I've ever met. Anyway, there's something we would like to discuss with you. Can you turn on your video for a moment? You want to see your daughter make a mess while eating instant noodles that bad? Our girl knows she's a messy eater. She is grown. You two should consider becoming a comedy duo. Does a comedy trio not sound better? The Watanabe Comedy Trio. These two wanted to raise their adopted child as a human museum of sorts, so instead of nursery rhymes and magical girl anime, I grew up with Kawabata and Soisuke. It was a pretty weird childhood. I used to hate them for making me go through all that. Now that I'm older though, I guess I can appreciate my upbringing. The authors I read as a kid ended up being formative influences in my taste, and I probably would have never known about them if not for my moms. Okay, this is calling me out way too much. One sec. Okay, so, though the two women who raised us were not romantically involved, they were sisters, I do still hold that I believe they were both gay. Also, they both had an extensive college education. Also, they could edit our fucking school papers in our sleep, and had even offered to write our college entrance paper thingies. They were very good writers and had a very extensive college education. So I am about to recite my nursery rhyme growing up. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the similarity that I feel being called out here with the main character. You're my ace boon coon, my catch in the rye, my cow on the hot tan roof, my streetcar named Desire, my mice and men. You're my pearly victorious, my raisin in the sun. They're literally great American novel titles. I was raised by a fucking Black History major. Well, one of them. And the Black History major in this was a double major. I forgot what the other major was. Maybe literature? Something butter sauce. So like I fully identify with this character. I mean, I wasn't adopted, as far as I know. Though we have a interesting conception and birth past as well. More on that later. Generational gayness. Generational gayness. I was waiting for y'all to bring it up. Yeah, I feel like it's so weird. I'm so glad I ran into this game. I'm so glad Itch.io exists. I literally found this game just scrolling Itch.io for new games. Gosh. I feel kind of seen right now. And although my parents were incredibly abusive, I am happy to see the similarity reflected in this game. And it's nice to see supportive parents, even if they are hovery. Hopefully they weren't too hard on her growing up. Because, I mean, even though it is a trope for Asian parents specifically to be hard asses about scholastic achievement, because I was never a straight A student, I always felt like a failure. We generally had 3.0 GPA for most of our... From 6th grade to 12th grade, we never didn't have a 3.0 GPA. Which meant when we got to college and we couldn't even maintain a 2, I wanted to kill myself. Sorry, that might have been a little too much all at once. I'm just being overly... I guess I'm being the normal amount of honest. It just doesn't... That particular detail just didn't come up. It fucks with you. It fucks with you and it follows you for your entire life. If anyone in chat ever becomes a parent or you are a parent, please don't fucking hang scholastic achievement as like the end-all be-all to success for your kids. Or even like if you are like an uncle, aunt, or whatever the non-binary equivalent is to someone. Don't do that shit. It fucks with them. Promise. Anyway, the authors I read as a kid ended up being formative influences on my taste, and I probably would have never known about them if not for my moms. That said, I do think they're the kind of parents who wanted their kid to be a clone of them. Uh-oh. And I'm grateful for everything they've done for me, of course, but I also wanted to be independent. In the end, I sought out authors who I liked for my own reasons. Like Dazi. I'm enthralled by the fantastic imagery in his works, and the deep soliloquies on what human life should be like. I wanted to get into anime too, though. When I entered high school in Japan, hearing my classmates talk about the shows they were watching will always make me curious about it. But since my moms were very strict about TV time, my only option was that intersection of the literature that I knew and the anime I wanted to learn about. The light novel section in bookstores. I remember the first time I bought one. The bright and colorful visuals on the cover were so cute! It made me really embarrassed, probably because I knew my parents only wanted me to read serious classic literature. But I got bored from only ever reading stuff like Ogai and started craving something different. So I took the plunge. To be honest, I don't remember what the first light novel I read was called anymore, but I still think about how it warmed my heart. It was a typical high school romance. The protagonist wanted to confess. It was a typical high school romance. The protagonist wanted to confess to this other girl that she liked. Nothing special. But what struck me about the story was how the characters were just normal high school girls. Just like me. They went to a normal high school and dealt with normal problems. Nosy parents, homework, being anxious about your crush, the possibility of dating someone they're head over heels for. When I finished that book, I realized that what I wanted was to read more stories like that. Those of people like me, going about their normal, but still exciting daily lives. And of course, I wanted to see more illustrations of cute girls kissing too. But I digress. I stopped reading for my parents' reading curriculum and the rest is history. So, what did you want to talk about? Do you like money? Sure do! What do you think about your living expenses being covered? Chicago's expensive, so I'd appreciate it. And would you like to have a housemate? A housemate? If you want to meet her, then turn your camera on. I hate being in the dark about things like this, so I turn on my phone's camera. I can barely make out the image of a girl next to my mom's. The artificing is obscuring her facial features. Must be an issue with my connection. American internet sucks. Hi, Introduce yourself, Junko. Way to ruin this. Rare. This is gonna be weird. Rare. Way to ruin the surprise. My name is Junko. Nice to meet you. She's a writer and a very good one at that. I've heard about you. Despite the noise, I'm taken aback by how pretty her voice is. On the other hand, she must be getting a hell of a first impression from seeing me eat instant noodles. Why must we do this, moms? So the idea is, she would stay at your place while she studies. What was it again? Anthropology at a university in Chicago. You know, that famous one. I bet it's the fucking University of Chicago. Oh, fun fact about Fluffs, we're from Chicago. And we aren't a big fan of it. Probably just because, especially recently, Chicago has been coming up in work that we've been attracted to a lot. Like, we've been, and not even necessarily like the main thing or it takes place there, but Chicago like is commonly coming up. Even artists that we're starting to get into or following or like, oh, this is a cool artist. It's just been Chicago, 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 and it's just like, fuck Chicago. Never want to live there again in my life. You know, the famous one. She's very smart and a great writer too. We've already read much of her work. We can vouch for her. Anthropology, huh? And she's staying with me? Yes, her parents and us are going to split the cost. We'll also pay you to take care of her. Please teach her all about how great Chicago is and how the USA can be. The country's a dumpster. Haven't you seen the news? The news say one thing, but Fiona in Chicago will say another. Uh-huh. Fiona is a lovely name. The quality of the video improves a little, and I can now see Junko's face properly. She's blushing while playing with her long black hair. I feel drawn towards her. Oh, you're smitten! I'll hang up if you guys turn this into another matchmaking session. No, that was just a joke. Our proposal was a serious one. I think you're pretty too. Huh? But my hair is like a mess though. Our girl knows she needs to take better care of herself. And she still will not do anything about it. Please ignore them. Anyway, are you coming? She'll be boarding the plane in 3 hours. We lied. We are not at a family restaurant. We are actually in a small restaurant at the airport. Huh? I thought you told her already. Don't worry, sweetie. She'll accept. Oh boy, I hate her parents now. I fucking hate her parents now. Fuck them. Gosh, there's one of the times I wish I had my model had hand tracking, because I swear I'd be giving the middle finger to the screen right now. Fuck. What game is this? This game is called, oh gosh, what the fuck? I dropped the game. I dropped the link in Share Games. It's a long title. It's translating my roommate's visual novel made me gay. You really can't get away from everything being set in Chicago, huh? Nope. I mean, Chicago is one of the most popular, or like one of the biggest and most influential American cities. Chicago is really an important city. It's like living in New York City or LA. Yep. Huh. Be interesting if I ever got to live in New York for a while, since we've lived in Chicago and LA. Although LA is my favorite place I've ever lived. And I'll probably never live there again. It doesn't really make sense to. And it's hella expensive. And it'll probably sink into the ocean. And it's on fire. Wow, this is also reminding me of Gilmore Girls. Also, everybody, I like Gilmore Girls now. Sorry. She likes money after all. That's right. I don't see why not if you're paying. And I'm used to this kind of thing from them anyway. Oh, you should clean up your place. She'll be there in less than a day, and jet-lagged at that. You should make sure she's comfortable. Yeah, I'll do some cleaning. Good, well. Any other questions for your new housemate, Junko? She likes girls. Ah! Jeez. Thanks for leaking that. Say, Junko? Yes? Your English is pretty good. Oh, thank you. I hope my speech is not stilted. Not at all. I should go to sleep. It was nice meeting you, Fiona. See you later. Yup. See you soon. Is that all? You won't even welcome her with a party. What do you expect? You're talking to someone who's awake at 5 a.m. eating instant noodles. I'm going to bed. I've still got work to do after I wake up. Gosh, how did we raise her? I swear, I read every parenting magazine in the world and yet... Well, take good care of Junko, okay? She is a writer in the making, so no messing around. Junko hesitates for a moment, embarrassed. Before bowing her head, she glances up at me. A little like a worried puppy. Don't worry, I'll take care of her. Really? Yep. You look like a good girl. I'd be happy to welcome you to Chicago. Thank you very much. Junko bows her head again, but this time with such force that she slams her forehead on the table. Ah! She lets out an owie as my mom makes sure she's alright. You have no idea how much she's looking forward to Chicago. And she wants to see someone like you work on your craft. She's too sincere. Well, I can tell. I'm sorry. She blushes again. To be honest, it's a pretty cute sight. I can't help but giggle. Looking forward to meeting you. After saying goodnight to them, I brush my teeth and flop on the bed. Floop. While tucking myself in, I start thinking about Junko again. I hope I managed to come across as normal enough to assuage any worries she might have had. I don't know if I'll make a good housemate, but I know how tough moving to another country can be. And I got the impression that she's been through a lot, so I like to at least make her feel welcome here. Closing my eyes, my mind wanders to the sight of her calmly face again. I'm getting a cute housemate, and more importantly, my bills won't be an issue for a long time. Sounds like a new chapter of my life is about to begin. One thing I will say, if developer watches this stream or when we post this to YouTube, I am finding that when I click on anything, even the save thing, it advances dialogue. Is there a way to change that or not? I don't know. If I go to settings, does the same thing happen? I don't see a setting there. Also, thank you, developer. This is an amazing game so far, and I really love it. Damn, look at that. That makes me want fucking horchata. Okay, I should go for real now. I'm starting to feel maybe lightheaded, but in my heart area. Bye bye. Whoa. See ya. I hope things. I hope your chest feels less fluttery. Lighthearted. Oh, hey Kenny, how's it going? I'm having a day. Before stream, I felt like I lived a whole day already. So this is like 2 days packed into one, at least emotionally. After 10,000 years, I've allowed myself the privilege of drinking an iced latte. I don't like indulging in these luxuries much. And it's not like I have the money to do it often anyway. But I happened to notice this fancy cafe while waiting around in arrivals, and given that I had just finished sending a big batch of work to my editor, I figured I could treat myself to something nice for once. I got stuck on a certain part of chapter 28 for so long. It wasn't exactly hard to translate, at least linguistically, but there was this catchphrase that the protagonist kept repeating in all of his monologues about capitalism. And reusing the same vocabulary like that might feel more natural in Japanese, but if you do it in English, your prose will just end up feeling really weird and stilted. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. I actually find these kinds of differences between writing cultures really interesting. But it is something that translators are always struggling with, even if it's not something most people ever think about. So yeah, I've had to research a bunch of capitalist theory, all so I could get the ideas in the text right while rephrasing things so they sound more natural. Seriously, I'm not getting paid enough for how much effort I've had to put into this isekai about a fast food kingdom. But I do think I did a good job, and earned myself a reward, hence a nice latte. And this bittersweet taste, reminiscent of the dichotomy between work and leisure. Yep, it's perfect. I take another sip of the fancy millennial drink and glance at the flight information display. It's changed to say that the baggage from Jenko's flight is being loaded out of the plane. With nothing to do but keep waiting, my thoughts wander to my next translation project. The details aren't that tantalizing. It's just another isekai work. Although this one is getting adapted into one of those smartphone games with microtransactions. But the real kicker is that none of the translators working on it, including myself, are getting credited for it. And we have to sign a non-disclosure agreement too, forbidding us from even talking about anything specific. We can't even mention the agency we worked for. It's yet another hella sketchy practice that's weirdly common in the industry, but the pay on this job will be a little bit better than I usually get, so it's hard for me to care about that stuff. By now, my latte's been reduced to a little more than half molten ice cubes. I instinctively start tapping my feet in some futile attempt to make time go faster. I'm gonna go back to sleep. Come on, airport, please let Junko out already. Suddenly, the doors slide open. Takada Junko, up and coming writer? Suddenly the door slide open, and Junko appears before me. I raise my hand to greet her, but hello. Wow. Her smile sure is something. Whew. This is my first time outside Japan. Damn, sorry to hear that. You should have gone to a fancier place instead, like Italy. Huh. I did not speak Italian, unfortunately, but my English is satisfactory. Oh, don't worry. If my English is good enough, then I'm sure you'll be okay. As I drive back to my apartment in the middle of nowhere, I finally be able to get a proper look at Junko, albeit from the rearview mirror. Most of the tourists my moms have sent me in the past like to look out the windows, watching the scenery and skyscrapers in the distance, but I noticed that Junko prefers looking straight ahead, through the windshield. We sometimes end up making eye contact through the rearview mirror. Hello. Even just these little hellos of hers are so charming that I can't help but grin back at her. What's up? So, you're a translator? Yep, Japanese to English. Not the other way around, though. It requires some skills I don't have. Personally, I still think it's impressive. I tried to translate from Japanese to English, but found it quite difficult. Well, I still think it's hard. I've done creative writing before, and I definitely think translating is harder. Junko giggles, covering her mouth with one of her hands. That's a very insightful observation. god, she's so cute. But I should be paying attention to the road instead. As our small talk naturally comes to an end, I turn on the radio, the song that comes from one of those generic American pop tracks. But it beats only having the humming of the engine to listen to. And Jenko still looks a bit timid, but she's bobbing her head to the tune, so I guess she's liking it too. Come to think of it, I haven't bothered looking Jenko up on the internet. Aside from their day jobs, my parents also have their own online literacy magazine. They say it's just an excuse for having more literature to read, but over the years they've attracted some pretty big names, so I figured Jenko must be some kind of up-and-coming celebrity writer. On top of how talented they said she is, she's very pretty too. She'd be right at home on the cover of a magazine. I can imagine her attracting a lot of attention. I wish I were that talented and pretty. Imagine the money! Capitalism, capitalism, capitalism. By the way, these are actual pictures of Chicago. I believe that was the Dan Ryan Expressway, if I'm not mistaken, Driz. You mean that thing you've never seen? Yeah. Actually, I believe this is downtown. Yeah, this is downtown, still. I wonder where she lives. I wonder if I'll actually be able to zero in on the actual fucking neighborhood. Weird. And that's why, like, things being placed in Chicago or about Chicago really been, like, messing with me. Because it's like, I can't escape my hometown. Not even in the fiction that I read. Or play. I'm doing great. My sister got us our Christmas gifts early because she spoiled what she planned to get us, so we wouldn't go buy it. She got us Metroid Dread and pre-ordered Pokemon Diamond. Ooh, I'd love to see you play that sometime. I hear Metroid Dread is great, and it plays better on PC. Oh wow, that's awesome, y'all. Happy gaming. Brr. Yeah, I hear Metroid Dread is very good. Somehow, I don't think the act of translating the novel made her gay. Yeah, false advertising. She was gay before that. I'm glad you're liking Metroid Dread so far, Kenny. Nice. What's your favorite thing about it? It looks very horror-y. I love it. Well, I guess that's always Metroid. This is what Metroid's been, because it has a very horror aesthetic, a very creepy soundtrack, and a very and the enemy designs are just like, ugh, I would not want to see that in flesh space unless we were cuddling. Suddenly, I noticed that we're already almost at the apartment. I take a left upon reaching a nearby intersection and make sure there's no oncoming traffic before driving into the parking lot. We're here! Ah. We get out of the car and I take it upon myself to carry Jenko's luggage. After all, my room's on the 3rd floor and I couldn't possibly let her carry all those things all the way up there herself, even though I have to sacrifice my biceps for it. Times like this is when I resent this apartment not having an elevator, but it's not like you can ask for much if you want cheap rent in a city like Chicago. After I finish my yearly allotted workout, I unlock the door and introduce Junko to her new home. Wow, it's cleaner than I imagined it would be from how your parents were talking about you. And it smells nice too. Hey, it took me a few hours, but I did clean the apartment like I said I would. Granted, most of the time was spent spraying odor neutralizer everywhere to get rid of the musty instant noodle smell. Once we're finished moving the luggage to the room she'll be staying in, Junko takes a closer look around the living room and something underneath the TV stand catches her attention. Reaching for it, she finds a used instant noodle cup. Oops. Looks like your parents weren't right after all. And she starts laughing away. You'd think this would be embarrassing, but I can't possibly feel bad about her when her laugh sounds so sweet. I'll get rid of it right away, Master. Do you watch American TV? I was wondering if variety shows were better than the ones in Japan. Oh, I don't watch TV. I don't think those shows are popular here, though. But the TV's more like a glorified monitor for my laptop, for when I want to watch VTubers or something. Huh? So it is true Americans only watch things through the internet. I still watch Japanese TV. Well, I don't think it's that American to watch VTubers. After throwing the noodle cup into the garbage, I opened the fridge and reached for one of the pre-packaged salad bags. I bought some so Junko wouldn't think I'm a weirdo who only eats noodles. Though my mom's might have alerted her to my Weedivore life. I bought some so Junko wouldn't think I'm a weirdo who only eats noodles. Though my mom's might have alerted her to my Weedivore lifestyle anyway. Want some salad? With the Thousand Island sauce? That sounds nice. Glancing over, I see Junko sitting on the couch, scrutinizing every corner of the living room with a curious look on her face. Well, it looks like she's already getting comfortable. Well, it looks like she's already comfortable. I open the salad bag and dump all the contents into a bowl. I'm not sure how much sauce she wants though, so I'll just present her with a bowl and the bottle. It should go without saying that I'm not a very good host. The guests my mom sends over usually stay in hotel rooms, so all this Junko is a first time for me. I get the feeling that asking a guest if they want salad might be a big faux pas. Lol. As for me, I have these barbecue flavored potato chips I had laying around. Thank you very much. I sit down next to Junko on the couch, and she turns on the TV before staring at her salad. There's some cooking show about healthy vegan recipes on right now, something that Kanako might watch if she were here in Chicago. Eating these chips while watching this feels rather salacious, but oh well. So, you're studying anthropology, right? And you're also a writer. Junko stops munching. Her cheeks redden a little, and she swallows her food awkwardly. Yes, but I do not think I'm that good. How come? Reading famous English authors only makes me feel embarrassed about my own writing. I find them to be too powerful. My mom seemed to like your writing, though. Well, yes, but I think if they like it, you're probably better than you think. They have good taste, you know? You translate Japanese literature, right? Have you perhaps worked on, Akotawaga? Yeah, I translate only the highest class literature, like isekai light novels. Ah, I was wondering. Your parents never mentioned what you translated. I do like Akotawaga though. Really? My friends think he's a bit, old and ancient. Well, I don't really care for Rashomon, but I do respect his goal as a writer. He enjoyed reading translated European literature during his time, and thought of writing as a way to bridge Eastern and Western cultures together. I think that by adopting European techniques to tell Japanese stories, he helped open the eyes of Japanese readers to the possibilities enabled by Western writing techniques. And I think that's pretty beautiful. Ah, yes. That is what I like about him as well. I find writing for the world to be a very powerful mission. You must be proud of what you do, since as a translator, you're also bridging different cultures together, no? Well, I guess. I really admire your craft. Say, what kind of fiction do you write? My fiction? I'm not sure I can write. Don't be silly. Like I said, my moms know what they're doing. I actually have not written anything. Anything publishable, that is. Oh, I guess I haven't written shit then, huh? Pfft. Getting published is hard as fuck. And being publishable is not about being good. Being publishable has to do with agents, getting a good one, getting good representatives, coming in at the right time with a story that is the subject that is relevant to the dominant themes that are popular at that time, and also the hegemony of what's expected. Like, obviously, POC authors have a much harder time getting published. Neurodivergent authors have a harder time getting published. Being published is not a mark of greatness. It is a kind of success. And I know I'm not published, so maybe my opinion is not worth that much in this regard, but it's not the most important thing. If you never get published, that doesn't mean you're not a great writer. Huh? Does that mean you haven't got anything published so far? That's right. I'm not a professional writer. I'm just trying it out. Slowly, Jenko's voice becomes smaller and smaller. I can barely hear her over the TV. The only sound now is a TV chef's voice, talking about vegan patties or something while in the boogie suburban backyard. The only sound now is a TV chef's voice, talking about vegan patties or something while in a bougie suburban backyard. Jenko's merely fiddling with her fork in the salad, not saying anything. Is my first day off in a long time really gonna end up with this social awkwardness? Not that I'm not socially awkward myself, but still. I want to say something, but any words I can think of get stuck in my throat. I'm reminded of the many times I've stared at my computer screen in despair. The times I look at my word processor and immediately feel my mind BSOD. I knew I had a job to do, and the people were counting on me. So I forced myself to type. And even when the words I wrote would scream at me to give up on this charade, I'd persevere anyway. Maybe that's what I have to do right now. I relate to that. It's one of the reasons why we haven't released Fluffbyte Presents in 6 months. Rewrites. Erasing. Not feeling words are good enough. Feeling like they don't make sense. Just fear. And feeling incomprehensibly small. And not in the good way. Hey, Junko. Are you still jet lagged? Junko slowly turns her head towards me, I can tell that she's taking a few seconds to register what I just said. After a moment, she gently shakes her head and gives off a half-hearted smile. Well, my mom said I gotta take care of you, right? I was thinking we could do a little tour of the city before school starts and you become too busy. What do you think? I think that might be good. And that salad may not be enough for lunch too, so wanna grab a bite? Junko nods her head. Oh, thank goodness. I have to admit, that was as petrifying as any of the 2 job interviews I've gone in my life. I have to admit, that was as petrifying as any of the 2 job interviews I've gone to in my whole life. There was just something about that silence that made it feel like she could explode at any moment. It's clear there's something she's worried about, but I can't tell if it's something I did or not. Anyway, at least we're going outside. That ought to make her feel a little better. That might make her feel a little bit better. So, what are we eating? I can't help but laugh. I can't help but let out a weird laugh. I've always reluctant to have guests try this local delicacy, even if this is a tradition for the Watanabe family guests. Even though I really don't like it. But, well, here goes nothing. All I have to say about this eating decision is fucking poggers. I know some people are like, deep dish pizza isn't a pizza, it's a pie. Pizza is a pie. I love myself a pizza pie. Deep dish pizza is amazing. If you ever go to Chicago, maybe try out Giordano's. I'm wondering if the place they will go is like a fictionalized version of Giordano's, or if they'll actually name drop a place. It's definitely not the only Chicago deep dish pizza though. I wonder if the developers from Chicago, or if any of the developers are from Chicago. I know there's more than one on the team. We're eating Chicago's infamous deep dish pizza. GFT. I became gay for translating my roommate's short story. Maaaybe Fiona. Sometime later, we find ourselves at a certain famous pizzeria on Michigan Avenue. It's Giordano's. They just didn't want to name drop it. Sometime later, we find ourselves at a certain famous pizzeria on Michigan Avenue. We enter the place. As we enter the place, I see Junko's as starry-eyed as I'm dreading this. I'm happy for her, I guess. But I just don't like deep dish pizza. And dystopian parking fees don't do anything to make me feel better, even if I'm sending the bill to my mom's. Thankfully, the place is not too crowded. Well, at least not as crowded as it usually is. Probably because we just missed rush hour. We get seated in one of the several empty tables almost immediately, much to Junko's pleasure, and she quickly opens the menu. Oh. Apparently, this restaurant was the first to make deep dish pizza. Well, that's according to their marketing team. Almost every pizzeria around here says the same thing. Nobody actually knows by whom or where the deep dish pizza was invented. Its origins remain a highly contested debate among Chicago historians and Nobody actually knows by whom or where the deep dish pizza was initially invented. Its origins remain a hotly contested debate among Chicago historians and pizza enthusiasts. Blah! It's such a hard thing to say. Chicago historians and pizza enthusiasts. Ah. Blah. I have a clumsy tongue. In more ways than one. Shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Nobody actually knows by whom or where the deep dish pizza was invented. Its origins remain a hotly contested debate among Chicago historians and pizza enthusiasts alike to this day. Restaurants will say one thing, local newspaper reporters will say another, and the cycle continues. The truth will probably never be known. But if you ask me, I'd rather spend my time reading eerie visual novels than trying to solve this mystery. This pizza certainly looks unusual. Yeah, that's for sure. As the name suggests, deep dish pizza consists of what is basically a bowl made from thick pizza dough. The weirdly tall crust literally walls upon the tomato sauce in, with a layer of cheese sitting at the bottom. Depending on where you're eating, you might also get bell peppers or different types of meat. Definitely not something to order if you just want a quick light meal. Let's order one and split it between the two of us. How does it taste? I'll let you find out for yourself. I'll say it, even as someone who's lived in Chicago for 4 years, I still don't get the appeal of deep dish pizza. I know, it's heresy. But it just feels like tomato soup and soggy bread, and that combination of almost liquid but not quite, almost crunchy but not quite mouthful is just too weird for me to stomach it. In my opinion, the real local delicacy is the fried chicken from a certain shack-like place. I'm sure my fellow Chicagoans out there know what I'm talking about. Gosh, is this game just fucking adding Chicagoans? How many visual novels are even set in Chicago, come to think of it? I've never heard of or played any. I mean, I feel very special having been able to do this, but fuck. I'm thinking she's talking about heralds? This gives me ideas, so we're gonna take my girlfriend when she visits me soon. And it's like, oh, this place. This place. And in reference to the pizza thing, I think that is a shitty way to describe deep dish pizza, because it's not. If you go into a place that is soupy, you ain't going to a good place. Like, okay, so if you cut a slice of deep dish pizza and you turn it upside down, it shouldn't just be floating on top. Even though a lot of people eat deep dish pizza with a fork, you should be able to still eat it with your hands, at least most of the time. The cheese should stick to the sauce. And when you bite it, there should be like a string of cheese, all gooey. Like, it's so good. And like, I am a sensation whore. So please believe if you have like some type of sensory thing that you will experience pizza, deep dish pizza as Fiona described, if you're having cold or reheated deep dish pizza. For it to be soupy is not generally how I like it. Though hey, I could be wrong. I haven't had deep dish pizza. I haven't had deep dish pizza since the pandemic. I haven't had deep dish pizza since 2019, I don't think. Well, snack. Yuri in luck. Yeah, their deep dish pizza description sounds cursed. Of course the description is coming from the perspective of someone who hates it. Yeah, but like, I feel like she got bad pizza though. It's like, I hate to be that person. I feel like I'm being the, you just need the right, I feel like I'm being a, you just need the right deep dish pizza type of person. And that makes me feel weird. But I guess I'd rather be that than be that about someone's like sexuality or gender or something. I haven't had pizza in months. I've had breadsticks the other day, but I haven't had pizza in probably a few weeks. Maybe a month. I actually used to eat almost entirely pizza, damn near. I used to have a pizza heavy diet. Back when I lived in LA, actually. Ironically. I'm sure my fellow Chicagoans out there know what I'm talking about. But that's for people who want to eat normal things, not tourists after the stuff we can't find anywhere else. Or perhaps accompanying said tourists. We finish ordering and Junko spends her time excitedly watching the waiters deliver colossal pizzas to the other tables. Meanwhile, I try my hardest to not lose my mind to boredom. This lame 90s song they're playing over the speakers is determined to see me fail. So my only option is to engage in the classic millennial anti-boredom pastime. Checking social media. Ah, translator friends getting married, huh? They're even posting pictures of their wedding dresses. Good stuff. Rajas. They're both 40-ish. If I'm not mistaken, and have wanted to marry for some time now, but only recently managed to stabilize their household income enough to do it. Well, translation is a pretty precarious occupation, so I'm glad they finally have some stability. Let's see, what else? Another friend on my timeline is talking about their multilingual kid. They already know English, Spanish, and baby language. What a I remember when they released a video announcing their new book, and could hear the kid going, "Dun dun dun!" in the background like a villain. Trigger warning, harassment, doxing of a translator. Okay, I'm gonna give it a few seconds for everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It must be nice to settle down with a family. But at the same time, imagine having kids with the world the way it is right now. And besides, my life is already too complicated for me to consider getting a partner. Scrolling by, I happen to see a virtual thread about another fellow translator. And one I personally know, at least. She's been doxxed for adding politics into a manga. I put my phone away. Is something the matter? Oh, nothing. Just work stuff. The pizza arrives. Wow, it looks incredible. That's a way to put it. Can I try it? Be my guest. Wait, you are my guest. Junko giggles at my bad joke before giving the pizza a tentative nibble. So, how is it? It's delicious! What? I'm just surprised. Lots of people don't really like it. Myself included, actually. I was wondering if we end up going somewhere else to eat. No! It's very good. You should have some. I'm not that hungry. Ah, the trigger warning. The trigger warning to the trigger warning. Homophobia, slurs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can't stop thinking about that thread earlier. I take my phone out again. This time to read it in full. It goes into great detail about the manga in question, its author, and the context surrounding the politics that were supposedly shoved into the story by the translator. Atlantis no Tamago is a rather well-known shonen manga series among teenagers. While I haven't read it myself, I've heard a lot about it from friends who have. The premise is the usual hero's journey you often see in battle manga. The protagonist lives in an underwater society and one day finds a mysterious egg while taking their seahorse out on a walk. A mer person hatches from it and reveals that all of their kind have been imprisoned in these eggs. And thus begins the protagonist's journey to save the mer people. I'd honestly admit it's not the most eye-catching beginning, but apparently the fight scenes made up for that. The author took great advantage of the story's underwater setting to make them look and feel very unique, drawing in a lot of readers who are looking for something fresh. But as the story went on, the thread continues, certain themes started becoming more prominent. The human villains went to great lengths to conceal the eggs' existence from society, going as far as criminalizing knowledge of them. They feared that the eggs' contents could lead to chaos if they hatched, even though they only contained these innocent merpeople. And the protagonist didn't know what to make of that. It felt absurd that the villains could be so afraid of something so harmless. Yet, their paranoia drove them to make their society increasingly totalitarian for the sake of security. As ridiculous as this situation felt to the protagonist, the oppression it led to was real, and they had to stop it. It was at around this time in the manga serialization that the author, in as yet untranslated interviews, started talking about their experience creating their previous series, or more specifically, how miserable it'd been. Dana no Nazo was a rare shonen series with a female protagonist, but the characters would often sexually harass her for the sake of comedy. And you might say that's simply a given for the genre, but even at the time, some fans thought these scenes didn't match the mood of the rest of the story. And well, wouldn't you know, it was the editor-in-chief of the magazine series that published it that was demanding these book sex jokes were added, because obviously a manga without boobs wouldn't sell. You see now? The stress of working on a weekly magazine, being forced to add awful sex jokes to their work, and the misogynistic audience they attracted ultimately led to the author having a nervous breakdown. Dana no Nazo famously went into a 2-month hiatus before being cancelled entirely, citing mental health related reasons. The author decided to stop working on the series, and for his part in this mess, that the editor-in-chief left the publisher with a huge bonus. The author intended to never return to that publisher again, and said that they even considered quitting manga altogether. But sometime later, they're approached by the magazine's new editor-in-chief. As it turns out, they'd been a fan of the author's doujinshi works for a long time and were willing to give them complete creative freedom in a new series. They promised that a Dana no Nazo situation would never happen again. And that's how Atlantis no Tamago came to be. These interviews, the thread argues, provide ample reasoning for reading the series as a queer work of art. And from that point of view, it really does feel rather obvious that the merpeople and their eggs symbolize gender liberation, while the human villains stand in for conservative gender norms. Though of course, a lot of readers still think SJWs are reading too much into it. But everything changed when last week's chapter dropped. The origins of the merpeople were finally revealed. They're an ancient agender race, sealed into the eggs by the first human colonizers of the underwater world who saw them as aberrations. Most important, however, was the protagonist's relief upon learning this history. Suddenly, they understood what the discomfort with their gender that was always felt actually was. Now they knew that the way that they were raised wasn't the only possible way for how things could be. This history, while tragic, gave them hope that a better world could be possible. The chapter ended with the protagonist, for the first time in full control of their identity, proclaiming, "I am transgender!" Needless to say, the first scandalizations of this chapter, when they came out, it was a mess. Many of them changed the explicitly queer final line into something metaphorical, like, "I am free from society," or "chains won't shackle me any longer," insisting that this is what the author actually meant. Likewise, conservative readers will argue in comment sections that even if the character says Boku wa Toragasuwada, that doesn't actually mean that they're actually trans. It lacks a desu or da, the local experts on Japanese grammar said, and therefore, it was an ambiguous statement. Finally, the official translation of the chapter was released on the magazine's app. It translated the final line correctly. Of course, and all these readers who bought into the myth of the apolitical Japan hated it. Do you want me to take over? No, I got it. I got it. Okay. What the fuck do think eggs mean? They're just fucking eggs. There's no way this blatant leftism will fly in Japan. Fucking SJW shoving their crap into Japanese media again. They're mermaids, not mer people. Stop putting Western LGBTQ shit into my Japanese manga. Between all the vitriol and homophobic slurs, the thread laments. It's no surprise that some asshole ended up leaking the series translator's private information. This makes me sick. Perhaps more so because the translator in question, Roche, is an important person to me. We've known each other for basically as long as I've been thinking about translating things myself. I know that she deserves more respect than this. Thankfully, it seems that she's safe now, and seeing a therapist to help with the shock of it all. The idea of pressing charges against her harassers has also been brought up, but for the time being, all she said is that she'll be taking a break from work. How the hell could something like this happen to her? I'll be right back. I'm okay. Okay, I'm not okay. That was a fucking lie. I'm not okay. I'm not okay, but I want to finish the game. I have a reasonable assumption that the next game on the Yuri playlist, excuse me, I did eat, will be not needing of trigger warnings. However, I'm gonna be careful, and I'm probably gonna try to play a game to calm myself down in between, cause excuse me, sorry, pardon me. What's that thing called? I am. I'm still having a panic attack in this moment. I asked roommate for something to sedate me. It has helped. If not for that, I'd probably be hyperventilating a lot right now. I'll probably be venting in Discord after stream. But I don't. The funny thing is, if it was just the game, it'd be different. But here's the thing. Everybody, this game is really adding me right now. The similarities and just, I mean, maybe it's not just similarities because if you had told me that being a translator for light novels and manga was as applicable to what I do, I would have raised an eyebrow and asked, "What do you mean?" And I've been learning a lot today. And the fact this place is set up my hometown. That the main character has some very poignant similarities to myself. And stuff about her parents. It kind of warmed its way inside me. And I knew, oh, game was gonna get dark. I thought depression. Maybe. Even maybe suicidal ideation. And it's funny. You would think that those things would be more upsetting than transphobia and doxing and feeling unsafe. But I can't control my emotions. I don't. Okay. You know how some people say that they some people say like about things that are, God, a better example. If someone's like if I was to say I don't consider myself an artist, other VTubers are artists, other video essayists are artists, but I don't really feel like I can apply that to myself. This is hypothetical. That is a way of reasoning out a judgment about yourself. And I have a knock on my door. And hold on. Yay. I got a package. Now you can hear me. Something, butter sauce. Hey, you get to see mental health things on stream in real time. Yay. Starting to hit me. Okay. I'm returning to a state where I don't feel like I'm falling. Some people say a thing about themselves, but say that it doesn't apply to others. And I always think that it's a little deceptive of themselves. I feel like when you do that, in a lot of cases, you're judging yourself harshly. The example that I would have gone with if I could think of it in a reasonable enough time when I was thinking of examples was I hear it the most with, I think other trans films are cute and adorable. I think they're valid. I think their transitions are going well. But mine, dog shit. Hate it. It's not good. I'm not pretty. Those things. And I always feel bad. And it's like, they try to have a respectful distance, and it's like, but in my head I'm like, but that is bad. If you... I know it's a way to keep it in check, but it's sad to see, obviously. And this feeling is how I feel right now about my own mental health in this case, because, well, I don't think what I just had a panic attack about was worth having a panic attack about. I don't feel that way. I think my feelings are valid. I don't think it was an overreaction. And also, I've been having a good day today. Today's been great. I love today. Except for the last 40 minutes or so. Or 30 minutes? I don't know. I'm loving this game. When this game comes out, I'm getting it. If I could pre-order this game right now, I'd buy it. Shit. Like, but also, that's like a capitalistic endorsement. Like, it's not about the money. It's about feeling it, speaking a truth to power. And so many people are like, oh, you're shoving your politics in this, and you're shoving your politics in that, and everyone who makes content has to decide whether or not they want to be political. And when someone is aggrandizing our work, knowing all the things that we are, then that makes us happy. And it's like, shit, you took all that and the leftism, or you took the leftism and the diapers? Like, it's funny. It's real funny. But like, I don't know why I panic so much. Like, I legit don't. It's not uncharacteristic for me to get upset. Shit, I expected I was gonna cry. Of course I was gonna cry. That hurt. It hit so close to home. And it's like all these adjacent things. Because I'd love to learn Japanese, for example. If I learned Japanese and I was translating stuff, I'd probably be translating doujins or something, but like, it is a thing that interests me, and there's like these intersections. There's these intersections that I really, really, really feel. And I was already thinking in the back of my head, or the middle of my head, I guess, that was like, oh, I want to write about this, oh, I want to write about this, oh, I want to write about this. And it's like, putting in Maya Thorne's essay is really just to say the me that wants to just make a whole essay about it. Because when I love a work, I want to analyze it. I think analyzing is my love language. Or one of my love languages. Anyway, I feel weird. I feel really fucking weird. We ate during our break, but we were fucking scared the whole time, and other stuff happened, and it was like that kind of silent moment. That like bad things happened, but like no one else caused it in a way, you know? Like I have no one to blame. Just a feeling of helplessness. And all those things that people say that, I mean, we've had to deal with as an LGBT person, as a leftist, as someone who cares about human rights. And like, I don't know. I think I was saying before, maybe it's also the flattening of everything on the internet that is artist related basically being a content creator, and how that framework has been so damaging. Shit, we were for the essay. We were doing a bunch of we're looking at a bunch of interviews from Bo Burnham, because we were also talking about Inside, and like he's saying a lot of stuff that like, oh my god, like really penetrated my soul in like a more like as an artist, and as an artist that exists on the internet, like I feel like I really want to speak to some of those things, and like it filled me up with a fire, burning fire, and we were editing till 3 a.m. and I'm still thinking about it in the background processing. And I did a lot of processing doing other stuff today, especially in terms of my own checkered past. And so like I guess it went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick. Cause while reading that, I just so much flashed before my eyes. I took out my glasses for a second, which I hate right now because I can tell that my model is way more active than it usually is. Like it's following my eyes, like exactly. Like, oh yes, it's great. I need to get fucking contacts if I want to have not this happening. That's me blinking one fucking eye. That's me blinking one eye. And I only even realized this because I was upset because I took my glasses off because I was already crying. I couldn't see shit anyway, so it didn't matter. But I can't play games like this. I definitely can't read. If my glasses break, I'm fucked. If my glasses break, I'm more illiterate. I wish I had like a nice and tidy conclusion. That's what's nice about essays. That's what's so fucking nice about essays, because like I plan it and I write it, and even though like maybe this is penetrating, maybe people are resonating with this, maybe people are like, oh my god, Fluff. I don't fucking know. And that's part of this whole thing too. And staring into the camera, which is an eyeball, and speaking into this mic, which is an ear. And a lot of people have like dystopian views of like how we're like looking at screens all the time and all this stuff, and I don't feel that way. I mean, I know we're in dystopia. I damn sure know we're in dystopia. Can't wake me up from that. I took the red pill a long time ago, but like, it's just, I feel at home here. One of my roommates literally, we were talking about the word home, I guess it came up, and it's like, because we were talking about me not feeling comfortable in the house that I live in for various reasons, and it was like, yeah, you want this place to be your home. I was like, well, your home should feel safe and validating. And I was like, this is the place I live. This is not my home. And it's like, well, you want your room to be to feel like home, right? Like you want to feel safe in there. And I was like, my room is not my home. The internet is my home. It didn't used to be either. It wasn't my home till the pandemic. The pandemic changed me. I like to think for the better, mostly actually. But my social skills in person are less effective than I would like them to be. But even dulled, I can still captivate, I suppose. I just thinking of all this stuff and feeling like people are counting on me in certain ways is weird. I didn't used to, when we made YouTube videos before this account, I consider myself a YouTuber, but only in a way of like how an amateur writer might not consider themselves a writer. Kind of like Junko, but it's like, but Junko, you wrote things. Just because it didn't get published doesn't make you not a writer. Fuck that framework. I was a YouTuber before, however, I didn't feel valid because I was doing the capitalism. I bought game special editions that I didn't even have a console for because I couldn't afford them to do unboxings. And I saw movies and reviewed them. Not like cinema sins, but just off the cuff. Just something into the void, you know? And we got a lot of negative feedback, but because of what we were sharing, because it wasn't a reflection of us as much, it was a reflection of other things. So if we filmed a concert, for example, if we filmed a concert, then they'd talk about the concert, not us, unless never mind. But like, we didn't feel as seen. We didn't feel as seen then as we do now when we don't even show our fucking face, and that's I think it's ironic. Obviously, I don't think anyone here thinks very strongly that I'm not showing my real self here, especially because of, like, at least for those of you who are parasocial, for those of you who don't know me, for those of you who haven't known me, or definitely enjoy but haven't really interacted past what you see on stream and in video, then of course there's a lot you don't understand. And I've struggled to find that sweet spot of how close can I get to a person while I talk to them as Fluffbyte, but literally the masks, they switched. But I never became a VTuber for the mask, to be a mask. I became a VTuber to self-actualize. I did a video essay but cut about VTubing because I wanted to understand VTubing enough to know if philosophically I should even get into VTubing. If it would fuck me up or not. I wasn't sure. If my image would be too distorted. Funny how becoming a VTuber probably gave us 3 headmates that we wouldn't have, if not 4. So depending on your framework, you might say it actually did fuck us up. I don't. I love my headmates. Every single cutie one of them. Even the ones I haven't met yet. Even the ones I can't remember. But it's been a struggle to be seen, but also to be seen in the ways we want to be seen. And when you're on this side of the screen, there's that deafening silence. Like when you're watching Bo Burnham's Inside, you'll notice there's a few stand-up bits. And instead of where you would have the laugh track, or where people would laugh, which is not even how he likes it. Apparently, I found out from looking at interviews that he doesn't like how crowds are lit. He doesn't like how the audience is staged, the way it is, or positioned the way it is in like at a show. So he doesn't have that affirmation of, oh, you did a funny joke. He doesn't get the clapping. So he actually has close-ups of like the bulbs, the light bulbs, and the buzzing. And it's such an interesting motif. And there's a lot of ambiances in this room, so I don't have to deal with light buzzing as the only answer to my everything. And sorry, I should put on my glasses. I can't read chat. I can't even read chat like this. I can't even read chat like this. I do feel safe. Hey, Fayba X, thanks for being here. Mwah. For our kissies. Here's another one for waiting. Mwah. You're so patient. I take out my glasses again to clean them. Hey. Sorry. She'll be back in a minute. She's started falling out the seat, so I caught her. So I guess we're co-fronting now. Which is okay, because when Cloud's in distress, I do tend to come running. Anyway. Sorry. Thank you. Oh, Dweeb-chan. Hi. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Finally watched Serious Experiments Lane. What's an anime you've been meaning to get around to, but putting off? Oh, March Comes Like a Lion? I've been playing off March Comes Like a Lion off for about a year, actually, I think. It's been recommended to me, I think, either 2 or 3 times. I think also been recommended by my, I guess, used to be favorite VTuber. I don't really have a favorite VTuber right now. I think the person that I would used to at one point would call my favorite VTuber quit, and then another person would have been my favorite VTuber I don't watch anymore, and I don't want to get into why, but yeah, that's weird. We do still watch VTubers, but we haven't been able to put our whole heart into it like we used to. Sometimes we can see the pain in between the cracks, and it don't feel good. I don't even remember what March Comes In Like a Lion is about. I think it's like a sport, like a game anime, like chess or shogi maybe. I can't remember, but I remember it was pretty well recommended and it was like really thoughtful. And I think is like the artist of Death Note did animation for it or something. I forgot what anime it's like related to, but it has some genealogy with something else that's like popular or famous. Definitely been putting that off. I've been putting off what's that thing called? I've been putting off finishing season 2 of Mob Psycho as well, which is a really great anime. I highly recommend Mob Psycho in general. I didn't want to watch Mob Psycho at first because I didn't like the designs of that mangaka. Like I like the idea of One Punch Man. I thought it was cool, but I've never seen more than a couple episodes. And at one point, I was just like, "Oh, their design's so weird." And it's like, "Oh, but at least Saitama's the only one who has that like shaped head and stuff." But then I saw that everyone looked like a little like versions of Saitama in Mob Psycho, and I was like, kind of gross. And that was mean as fuck of me. I'm glad I didn't hold to that. You got a whole backlog of Gundam? Gosh, Autumn, I feel you. Oh, I definitely have some giant robot backlog. I really want to watch Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, which I think is like a 70 episode series or something ridiculous. My favorite VTuber will probably be Sirius, but I was into his content before he became a VTuber, so I don't know if that counts. Oh yeah, that totally counts. If someone's like a VTuber becomes a singer, and you get into them because of their singing, they can be your favorite singer and not your favorite VTuber. But I mean, like, VTuber is just a type of content creator, or in this case, like a type of streamer. Like, I guess because of the difference, it's a more open-ended question to ask who your favorite streamer is and your favorite VTuber. If you want to have a different thingy for both, that's fine, but I wouldn't think you would necessarily. I think it counts well enough. I'm okay. Let's something. I'm trying not to push myself too hard. Shoving your politics in the... God. I wonder if that whole exchange was a reference to something, maybe? Like, I feel like it might have been a reference to something. Like, it was so specific. Like, obviously them giving it backstory wouldn't be hard, but at the same time, I wonder if it's based on something that happened. Because I do know that, for example, people got mad at a translator for putting in some feminist language into Dragon Maid. And they said the same fucking, Dissenter said the same fucking shit. I love and hate anime fandom. I put my phone away again for real this time. This entire situation has left me completely dumbfounded. What else can I do but despair at the state of my craft? Jungle has some tomato sauce on her left cheek. It's kill cute. I point at my left cheek, and she nods and takes a tissue to wipe it. Ah, thank God for this blessing of cute in these trying times. Trigger warning harassment. Doubting of the translator is about to come up again. Maybe they'll talk about it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, just a work accident. Work accident? Did someone get hurt? Yeah. I had no idea that translation was the type of work that could result in accidents. Same here. I hope the person who got hurt recovers well. I remember reading a post on social media by a translator years ago that said something like, "I'm scared of doing my job correctly." For a long time, I didn't know what they were talking about. When people think of occupational hazards, I assume what comes to mind are jobs that involve manual labor, like construction work. And those jobs are dangerous, of course, but I wonder what they'd make of something as innocuous sounding as translation turning out to carry such high risks as well. Wait, huh? Looking at the table, I noticed there's only one slice of pizza left. Did you? Oh, yes, my apologies. It seems I got carried away and ended up eating it all. It was so yummy, I simply couldn't stop. I am realizing that the lack of contractions in Junko's language is probably purposeful, since she's not a native English speaker and isn't as used to it. I have heard, I don't know if it's true, that stuff like contractions are more common with people who are more used to and confident with their English or are just native speakers. Which is why when someone tells you to stop using contractions or don't use contractions in your writing or something, for example, in like academic work, it can throw you off if you're just using it in normal speech and conversation and texting and stuff. Actually, I think that's why when we were younger, we didn't like texting at first, because of how we were raised. It was like, it's destroying the English language. It's making a mockery of it. We used to spell out all the words. I remember a bunch of anime fans freaking out when someone translated Lolicon as pedophile. Yeah, I remember that too. It's, shit, I don't think that was even that long ago. I believe it was Funimation, and I think they said they were going to do that going forward, actually. Wait, huh? Looking down at the table, I noticed there's only one slice of pizza left. Oh my god. I finally met someone who actually likes deep dish pizza. I hesitantly pick up the last slice and bite into it. See? Is it not delicious? If you say so. Blah blah blah. I don't get it at all. They're going to the bean! Oh yeah, I'm right here. I am a cloud, yes, hi. Sorry. Chicagoans will call— is this just gonna be a tour of Chicago? Is this just literally gonna be a tour of Chicago? Chicagoans call it the bean, affectionately. But the actual artist named it the Cloud Gate. Although it looks like a bean, interiorly it is not shaped as such. It is hollow to the top, or at least more concave than it would seem. If you look inside of it, or under it and look up, there is a reflection of you, kind of like a funhouse mirror. It is one of the biggest tourist attractions that is publicly available to view in Chicago. It only costs the amount of money it takes you to go downtown. It is on Michigan Avenue. Probably down the street from Giordano's, if I remember correctly. It is actually in a place called Millennium Park, which is a beautiful, yuppie-ass park, filled with different types of art installations. There's also two giant walls they're facing each other that have LCD screens in them that show a giant face. A giant bald, white, presumably masked face. And it opens its eyes, and it screams, and water comes out of the ground in between the two pillars. In the summer, you'll see children playing and frolicking amongst the jets of water, as it is a great way to cool off. Millennium Park is a nice place to take someone on a date, especially if they're not used to it. It is also right next to the Art Institute of Chicago. And like a block from the Red Line station. Oh my god, I forgot about the dumb bean. Super best friends used to tease about the bean. It's a very teasable object. Well, I have to burp now. I wanted the burp, I stole it. There are clouds everywhere. Want to take a picture with the famed bean? We're currently checking out the Cloud Gate, one of Chicago's most famous landmarks. If I recall correctly from an art seminar I took years ago, the artist wanted to create something akin to a portal between the earth and sky. It's a worthy endeavor, but for the sake of simplicity, everyone just calls it the bean. This is how we Chicagoans express our affection for important pieces of art, by giving them funny nicknames. Yes, but we should take it together. What? Sorry, I don't really feel like it. Oh. Say cheese. Cheese. Oh shit. Are we on a date right now, Thorn? Why have I been saying Thorn a lot when I mean Glitch? Maybe you've been seeing yourself as a part of me. Or vice versa. Or maybe it's a Freudian slip. Who knows? I know what you mean. And if you would like this to be a date, then yes. A date on stream in front of a bunch of people. Yes. Very kinky. By the way, if this happens to someone you're showing around, you are totally gay for them. Yeah. Jenko then flies off to take a closer look at the sculpture, while Grandma Fiona here looks around for a place to sit down. Man, how is it that she has so much more energy than I do? But I'm only a couple of years older than her. When we dropped by the art gallery earlier, she got excited by the water fountain with the big towers that show people's faces on them. I actually had to stop her from playing with some children who were there so her clothes wouldn't get drenched. Likewise, she was fascinated with the ice rink next to the bean. I assume she didn't have one. She didn't leave her old apartment in Yokohama? Was it? Very often, since it looked like it was her first time seeing an ice rink. To be honest, I kinda envy her ability to be so enchanted by these things. It all starts feeling special once you've lived here long enough. We grew up in one of the urban centers. It's not like we lived down the street from the bean. We weren't walking distance of it. So I understand what she means, but like, even for us, it was still special when we saw it. I mean, it wasn't like, but it was like, oh, look, it's the bean. I love the bean. It was kind of like that. After finding a bench, I take out a bag of caramel popcorn I bought earlier. Gosh, will you stop just Chicagoing? You're just Chicagoing all over me. She got the popcorn from Garrett's because there's a Garrett's literally across the street from the fucking Millennium Park. Millennium Park is like several blocks. Oh, also Millennium Park is very relevant for music lovers because if you ever go to what the fuck is that music festival called? There's a music festival in Chicago that costs hundreds of dollars that I've never been to because it's super fucking expensive and usually just rich or well-to-do people go there. But there's like a 3-day huge ass music festival that happens at the outside stadium. I guess not necessarily. Well, I guess it's a stadium. It has like a big cage over it, and there's speakers over it. Like it could be like a Final Destination location if all the speakers fell and killed people. But like, it's a great stage, and when there's not a big obnoxious rich people music concert, you can just hang out there. And sometimes there's like symphony orchestra concerts there too. And you can just sit on the grass and have a picnic, and it's fucking adorable. I forgot why I brought that up, but oh right, because it's just like other places in Millennium Park. It also has like this really great garden. Millennium Park is fucking bae. Like it's definitely like if you ever go to Chicago, go to Millennium Park. It's pretty, but like, yeah. Garrett's popcorn is Chicago's world famous popcorn. You can get cheese coated or caramel coated popcorn. It's like fresh. Like if you get it fresh, it's still hot, and it just feels amazing and tasty. While I was in college, when we were in college, our parents would literally send us like some for Christmas because it's crazy expensive if you get it in more than just a bag, like a little bag. But they pack it pretty full. You get them in a clear wax bag. It tastes delicious. Usually it's way better when it's fresh, but it's if you're gonna take it out of town or you're gonna keep it for a while or you want to send it to someone, just get caramel. Just get caramel. Caramel is good. It's still good when it's not fresh. The cheese, less so, because the cheese is like feels like a lot more styrofoamy after it's not been fresh. So after a day or two, it's not as good. Obviously, fresh Garrett's is better than not fresh Garrett's. Oh god, this fucking game. Caramel is to die for fresh because you can still, like, the crystals are still forming on it and solidifying, and it's just... Sorry, I started to drool. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Gonna watch some TV. Hope y'all have a nice time. And wow, you actually watch TV? Whoa. Enjoy TV. It's like that Nippon dating some but Chicago. Yeah, it kind of is. Weird. After finding a bench, I take out the bag of caramel popcorn I bought early and start snacking on it. I can finally wash away the deep dish pizza's icky aftertaste and relax for a bit. I wonder how long it's been since I walked around Chicago with someone like this. A year, maybe? Back when my moms lived here, we traveled to Florida during their days off instead. It doesn't look like much change in downtown since then, though. Even the construction projects I remember seeing back then still aren't finished. Good to know my tax dollars are being spent well. My phone starts buzzing in my pocket. I pull it out, wondering if it's my mom's again. But it's actually my editor. Well, so much for relaxing. What's up? Hey, we need you to start working on Penguin Vikings. Right away. So you got the license? Yes, but the publisher also asked for a print release as soon as possible. Well, they're so old-fashioned. But then again, I had to buy a goddamn fax machine just to talk to him. Right. But what's the hurry? Beats me. I think they want to test the American market before doing anything else. But instead of dipping their toes, they're making us do double duty. It was either that or no translation. I read the web novel version of this title a while ago. The full title was We're Stuck in an MMORPG about Penguin Vikings. And it's based on a popular browser game from back in the day, except the writer had the penguin characters also be Vikings for some reason. Aside from that, you also have the usual isekai setup about the protagonist dying and being reincarnated in the game and so on. To my surprise, I ended up finding it quite enjoyable read. It's a cozy slice of life, presumably because the game was all about crafting things with your friends, and isekais like that are the only kind I actually like. What about that rule of yours? The one about not making print versions of things you don't think will sell? Well, we'll have to make an exception to it just this once. Marketing this one's going to be hell, but I think I can make it work. So get it ready as soon as possible. Oh, and make sure it's good, yeah? I'm counting on you. Not even to talk to you later, huh? Okay. Translating requires you to think about language long and hard, and doing it both quickly and well is basically impossible. Alas, that's what being a translator in the modern era entails. Junko comes back looking like she's had a far better time here than I did. Had fun? Yes! It's very inspiring. Nice, nice. Hey, my editor called me with work and it's getting late. So I figure we should be getting back. Ah, are you going to work? Yup. Can I watch you do it? Huh? That came out of nowhere. Can't imagine why she asked that, but... Well... If you had to see me look at a blank document for several hours, then sure. I also just realized, like, I can imprint myself or project myself very easily on the protagonist also because of her hair. We have very messy hair that goes in every direction. It is a very... is a messy afro 90% of the time. I've always lived in a small town, so our well-known restaurant gives me the runs every time. I would not recommend it. Oh, that sucks. I guess you never go there. It's Junko's first time setting foot in Fiona's room. And well... where to begin? There are oily stains not only all over the floor, but also the walls. How did they get up there? Junko wonders. Piles of dirty clothes haphazardly shoved to the corners, and several trash bags laying about, which are likely the source of this bizarre stale broth/air freshener smell. Oh, I think you should be reading this, Glitch. And why does our desk have a bottle of mouthwash and a toothbrush on it? Just the thought of the story behind that one is enough to send a shiver up Junko's spine. But to be fair, while this is all certainly disgusting, it's not nearly as horrible as Fiona's parents made the apartment sound. Fiona clearly at least tried to clean things up. Ah, her trying so hard, but still failing so utterly. Must have been an adorable sight. You really are not very good at cleaning, are you? Okay, Zoomer. You should at least throw these trash bags out. The smell is very strong. Can I open the window to get some fresh air? Nah, it's okay. The bugs might come in and they'd annoy me while I'm trying to sleep. The bugs?! Well, maybe you can open it just for a little bit. I think I changed my mind. I'm pretty sure she's talking about mosquitoes. Fiona shrugs and sits down at her computer. It seems her editors already sent her the script for the next project. Meanwhile, Junko makes herself comfortable on the bed. Or as comfortable as this thing allows. Just sitting on it is making her butt hurt. Where did you get this bed? Oh, the previous tenant left it behind. I can see why they did. Even sleeping on the floor might be better for you. Got used to it. And there's usually no room on the floor anyway. Yeah, I know how that sounds. My moms are always pestering me about it too. I don't understand how you manage to live like this. Oh! Ha! Wait. No. Oh shit, that's not what I mean. Here we go. Wait. Fuck. Oh, maybe I should just be poking out. Cause this is literally, bitch, you live like this? Yo, how you live like this? That's a meme. Oh wait, shit. I need to. Can I get? Wait. Let me turn chat off for a sec, or chat bots off for a second. And I guess maybe our logo to make. Although that's cute, like. Brr. Right. And it's just like, how do you live like this? I forgot what the exact meme is. Like, like a dog that looks like the same kind of dog that the Goofy or Mats is, but isn't one of them necessarily. And it's like in a really messy room, and it's like, bitch, how you live like this? Or it's, bitch, you live like this? It's funny because main character was saying it to herself already. Or like, most people would have a hard time understanding how I live like this, but you get used to it. What's funny is the local gas station literally makes better hot dogs than that place, which is supposed to be known for its hot dogs. Wow. I think it's damn bitch you live like this. Okay, thank you. Ugh, sandbag mattress. Ooh, when we were a kid. Wow, I'm about to say some fucked up shit. When we were a kid, the bed we slept on had a board underneath the mattress, so it wouldn't sink. And then we got stabbed by springs very often. I would have preferred a sandbag mattress. It was also very coarse and rough, and it got everywhere. Anyway, That was fucking hilarious. Anyway. Oh, wait. Glitch, you should do it. Damn, bitch, how you live like this? I don't understand how you manage to live like this. It's hard to care when I've lived by myself for so long, I guess. Anyway, time to work. Fiona puts on some music and the familiar catchy opening riff hits Jinko like a tidal wave of nostalgia. This is the boss theme from Andelier, no? Oh, you've played it. Wasn't expecting someone like you to be into a game like that. Junko recalls playing it when it first came out, back during her high school days. Though its graphics and music harken back to a generation of games from before she was born, she and her few friends still had a lot of fun discussing the game's secrets and story. Truly, those were the days. Yes? I did not expect you to listen to this music while you were working either. You know, it helps me get in the mood. Because translation is just as epic as fighting a difficult boss! Wow. This game went there. Well, if you say so. I thought it sounded cool. Looking amusingly dejected, Fiona turns back to her monitor and starts working. Progress is steady at first, as the song apparently gets her into the mood, but she soon starts furrowing her brow while staring daggers at the document. Junko figures that she must have run into some kind of trouble. This boss is tougher than I thought. What do you mean? Junko, give me a second opinion here. You know what this means? Let me see. Inugami ke no Ishizoku. That means clan of the Inugami, if I'm not mistaken. And the accompanying illustration shows a character's legs sticking out of the water while they're underwater? Is that it? I'm afraid I did not get it. Right. Right? What the hell is this supposed to mean? I haven't reincarnated into another world while this... That's a good one! I haven't reincarnated into another world where this makes sense, right? Is this supposed to be some kind of weird joke? Or maybe it's just a plain old non sequitur? Maybe it's a reference to something. Maybe it's a reference to something. Have you tried looking it up online? I didn't want to throw in the towel just yet, just in case it turned out to be something I missed. But you're right. Time to say goodbye to a bit more of my dignity. The two detectives look up the phrase on the search engine, and sure enough, it's the title of an old murder mystery novel. It later received a movie adaptation, and here's the kicker. The poster prominently features a corpse partially submerged in water, its legs sticking out in the air. Just like the story's illustration. Fiona groans at this revelation, while Junko can't stop giggling. How in the world was I supposed to know that? I think I might hate translating. What is it that you're translating again? An isekai novel about penguin Vikings. The author must be a big fan of the old movies then, to make this reference in a story like that. Well, as far as translation-related frustrations go, I guess references to old media that came out before aren't that bad. I've had some trouble with stuff like words that completely change their meaning depending on the context. That kind of stuff is way more annoying to deal with, and it makes me feel dumb when I mess it up. Junko pats Fiona's back to show her appreciation. It must be a tough job, and it's so difficult and underappreciated. She remembers hearing about the social aspect of being a translator, and how you're either invisible and no one acknowledges your work, or you're too visible and people blame you for any perceived flaws in the text. It just sounds like an unwinnable battle. So obtuse references like this aren't that bad, but they still kind of make me feel like I didn't know enough English or Japanese to be able to translate properly, you know? It's a silly problem when I think about it, but it's still really demoralizing. Fiona frowns as she lowers the volume of the music and gets back to typing. It seems the song isn't helping much anymore, but the situation reminds Junko of the final battle of Andelier, how the protagonist got back up again and again, refusing to give up despite being completely outmatched by the villain. Maybe not the most unique of stories, but it's one that's inspired Junko ever since she first began writing in earnest. And thinking about that story, in turn, makes her think about Fiona. She'd originally thought of Fiona as an easygoing person, maybe even to an unhealthy degree. But despite her earlier complaints about her work, the contrast between her earlier aloof demeanor and current look of determination is like night and day. Even when she gets stuck in a boss and spends several minutes staring daggers at the screen, it's obvious how much she truly cares about her work. Seeing this, Junko can't help but respect Fiona. She respects Fiona because she's the type of person who Junko wishes she could be. Seeing Fiona work so hard reminds her of when she first started writing. She was that passionate too, once. Writing felt like a joy. Exploring ideas she found interesting, improving her craft, expressing herself. She wanted her stories to inspire others, just like how she'd been inspired by her own favorites as a reader. Isn't that what every writer wants? But no matter how many times she tried, her stories were only ever rejected by publishers. The letters kept coming, one by one, two by two, dozens by dozens. They filled up her email inbox and mailbox. She still read every one of them, clinging to hope, believing that maybe this time things will be different. But it was always the same thing. Thank you for submitting your story to magazine, but unfortunately, we don't believe it's a good fit for us. Always the same generic template. Always the same. Please try again. As the rejections continued to pile up, the hope turned into disappointment, and that disappointment turned into fear. After all, hadn't she told her family to trust her? No dropping out of school to write full time won't be a mistake. I promise you, Mom, I'm gonna be a big writer soon. It just might take a while for me to find my footing, but it'll all pay off in the end. Just watch, Dad. I won't need to ask you for money from here on. It's not gonna be a waste of time. It's not. It'll all work out. And then 5 years had passed, and all that Junko had to show for herself was a single, published, short story from 3 years ago. 5 years, and just one story. What a joke. Today, simply finding the motivation to sit down and write feels impossible. And even when she does manage to do it, the words won't come out anyway. And if she tries to push through, those same thoughts always return to Junko's mind. There's no point in trying. Because I'll just get rejected again. Because my ideas aren't good enough. Because I'm not good enough. And I'll never be good enough. I'm just wasting my family's time. And money. And now Fiona's parents' money too. And she finds herself thinking the things she's been trying not to since this morning. And Fiona makes it look so easy. Then why is it so hard for me? Then why? Why? That's why she respects Fiona. She respects how passionately Fiona can work. How she has a direction in life. But that respect also feels like poison in her heart. Alright, I got it! Fiona exclaims in a triumphant voice. It looks like she's been trying to figure out how to make that reference work in English and finally found a way. Let's just say it's synchronized swimming. Screw you, old ass reference. Huh? Junko, what are you... Junko quickly looks away. But for a moment, Fiona can see her eyes. They look completely unlike her earlier gentleness. Are you alright? Yes, I just... She gets up and looks at the closed window. The oil stains. The garbage bags. Anywhere but Fiona. God, this really does smell awful. Hey! And she leaves. She doesn't want Fiona to see her like this. The music of our high school days fades into the background. What was that about? Jungle crashes into the bed and stuffs her face in the pillow. This is just too much for her. She just wants to sleep it all away. But her mind just won't shut up. She rolls to lie on her back and looks up at the ceiling. Fiona's so amazing, isn't she? Even when she's having trouble, she stays determined and doesn't give up. And eventually it all works out for her. She makes it look so easy. It feels so easy for her, then why should... Then I should be able to do it too, right? I want to write. No, I can't write. So I should write. I should write, but I thought that yesterday too. And nothing changed. Just like last week. And last month. And last year. Is that how it'll go tomorrow? This never-ending cycle of hope and disappointment. I can't stand it anymore. But I can't imagine anything else either. I can only see a void. I stumble towards it and fall down. Get back up. Again. And again. And again. I want it to stop. I want to run away. But I have nowhere to run to. I have nowhere to go. With this void inside my heart. You've reached the end of the demo. Thanks for playing. And stay tuned. I'm glad we're not alone. Are you okay, Glitch? I felt like I should be feeling the way you do right now. That's literally a struggle we've had. And if those weren't fully your emotions, I'm sorry you were the conduit for it. I was getting into the performance and stuff. And I've never creatively wrote anything yet. Remember, I needed your help to write the essay about Brian David Gilbert. Also, I basically did a not... My voice, I do it to feel more me, less human, less normal. I always didn't want to be getting along with everyone in the system. I was pushing y'all away as well, because I felt like I would lose myself if I talked not like a scary person. And that voice is me. But maybe both voices are me. And that voice is my mask. It's also, I never acknowledged it when you called us, sorry, when you called me, Ichinibio. You know, a deluded person buying into their own fiction. I'm sorry, Glitch. I didn't realize that. And I did it to make you less scary. So, I guess that worked. It's okay if you resent me for it. I honestly don't know how I feel. We can talk about it later. Maybe not so much on stream. But this space has been comfortable. And I enjoy streaming. And this was very fun. Here are the credits. Thank you, BB. Thank you, Curry. Thank you, Castle. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Ricato? Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Thank you, sorry. Thank you, Monkey. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Drizzle. Thank you, Charon. Thank you. I love you. I love you too. What if it's actually Junko who becomes gay? I think that's the twist. You better let me play this with you, okay? When it comes out, I want to stream it with you. If that's okay. Sure. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to. get when you get your ref sheet, get calm with us cosplaying the respective characters we've been voicing. Like, really? I mean, that sounds great. Yeah, really does. Really does. Fuck, that was a lot. Sorry for crying a lot. Like, a lot.